Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Could we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amanda, will you call the roll?
Trustee Messick?
Here.
Trustee Rocco?
Here.
Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
Trustee Casera?
Here.
Trustee Fatino?
Here.
Trustee Lautner?
Here.
President DeCipio?
Here.
Quorum is present, sir.
Thank you, Amanda. Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege tonight to introduce a couple of people that are here from our community, specifically Nazareth Academy. As we all know, they highlighted our community this fall with winning the state championship in football. That's a first for us, first for you guys, but we're most proud that the way you did it, and you represented the village of LaGrange Park, and the young man that brought this title to Nazareth Academy. You had great mentors in Coach Radke and Mr. Moran, President Mr. Moran, and Debbie Tracy. What a great group to look up to and to mentor young folks like you. So it is our privilege tonight to honor Nazareth Academy football team 2014 state champions. If Coach, would you come up, and Mr. Moran and Miss Tracy? Maybe the boys too. Come on, young men. I was privileged just recently to attend one of their pep rallies or their assemblies to give them a proclamation from the village of LaGrange Park and from the board. I'm going to read that again to this community, and then we have a presentation to make that I think they'll be quite surprised with. Proclamation recognizing the achievements of the 2014 Nazareth Academy football team. Whereas Nazareth Academy is a 4-year college preparatory high school located in the village of LaGrange Park. Whereas Nazareth football claims the school's first state title in any sport. Whereas the Nazareth Academy can be proudly boast a record of 14-0 for the 2014 season. And whereas special commendation is due to all team members, to Coach Tim Radke and his staff. And whereas we are pleased to publicly commend the Roadrunners for their fine efforts, their sportsmanship, inspired team play. Whereas all members of the Nazareth football team, players, coaches, and fans, are proud of their hard work. Again, congratulations, you guys. Okay, another privilege that I have coming up now is the introduction and the oath of office of probationary officer Guadalupe Gonzalez. Guadalupe Gonzalez will be attending the February 24th meeting tonight. She will take the ceremonial oath of office as a probationary police officer. Lupe is single, 24 years old, and lives in Chicago with her parents and brother, and is fluent in both English and Spanish. She has previously worked as a receptionist at the North Community Bank in Berwyn, a veterinary assistant at the Chicago Center of Veterinary Medicine, and an animal caregiver for PAWS Chicago. Officer Gonzalez is a graduate of the University of Illinois at Chicago with a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminal justice. As a member of the Grange Park Police Department, she attended the Cook County Sheriff's Police Training Academy from October 6th through graduation on December 16th, 2014. We are pleased to have you here, Guadalupe, and look forward to the initiation. Chief, would you please do the oath?
I, Lupe Gonzalez, hereby solemnly swear that I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and I will faithfully carry out all duties imposed upon and entrusted in me as a probationary police officer for the village of Grange.
It's an honor to be able to do something like this in our village. It doesn't happen that often. We're very proud of having Lupe join our team. In our audience tonight, I've got our newly appointed commander of patrol, John Strezzo's in the back. Fran Morocco, who's one of our cameramen, he ended up being an FTO for Lupe throughout the whole training period. That was her primary FTO. So with that being said, what Lupe is going to offer to us now is something of two different type of entities that come forward. She's able to speak both fluently in Spanish and English. She also reads that as well. She'll enter into her own solo venture March 11th. She'll have a few weeks of shadowing coming up, and I don't foresee anything of the norm that she's not going to be able to do the job needed. When the academy started, I'll say a quick story really quick. When the academy started, they said to me that, Chief, I don't know. This is what's going on. The Cook County was like, this is going to be one of those maybes. I said, let's see how it goes. 2 weeks left in the academy, they called me back. I said, well, I'm going to come and be a fly on the wall, and I just want to see what happens. Lupe didn't even know I was there. She did a combative situation, and she handled herself like you wouldn't believe. I got a call from one of the people on the academy after and said, she not only handled herself, she did better than anybody in the head row. I'm very proud of her, and I'm very proud of what she's been offered to this community. So Lupe, if you want to introduce, Lupe's got both her parents here and also her brother. Her brother will come up and actually put her star on her. So if you want to have your brother come up, go ahead and post that star.
Mr. and Mrs. Gonzalez, we're most proud of your daughter, and thank you for allowing her to be a part of our community. Thank you. Congratulations, Lupe. Okay, next we have public participation of agenda-related items only. If anyone would care to address the board, please step up to the mic and give us your name and address. Moving on to consent agenda, Amanda?
The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes, Village Board meeting 2015. February 3rd, 2015. Work session meeting, February 10th, 2015. B, action, sale of surplus vehicles. Motion to approve an ordinance $1,456 to purchase the 2003 Ford Explorer and the 2009 Ford Crown Victoria. C, action, turnout gear purchase. Motion to approve the purchase of 7 sets of new protective gear, pants and coats at the cost of $1,733 per set, or a total of $12,131 from Paul. Action, fiscal year 2015 audit service. Required annual audit of the village financial statements for fiscal year 2015. Action, motion to authorize the president and chairperson of the finance committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks and payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers. F, action, motion to authorize the village treasurer checks in the payment of payroll and approve voucher register. Regular
Motion to approve consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick,
Yes.
Trustee Rocco,
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan,
Yes.
Trustee Casera,
Yes.
Trustee Fatino,
Yes.
Trustee Lautner.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Amanda. Next up, our village manager's report. Julia?
Mr. President, I have nothing to report this evening. Thank you.
Administration Committee, Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a few items to report on this evening from the administration area. First of all, regarding Arbor Day nominations. National Arbor Day is set for Friday, April 24th. For the 12th consecutive year, the village is accepting nominations to plant a tree in honor or in memory of a person or group that has made a positive contribution to our community or whose achievements deserve special recognition. To submit your nomination, please visit the village website at www.lagrangepark.org to download a nomination form or contact Andrea Bagley for more information. Nominations will be accepted April 15. The tree will be planted in a public space, in a parkway, or in a park, etc., during a public ceremony in late April or early May, and a small plaque mentioning the honoree will be installed at the base of the tree. The second item is that the village is seeking new members for our Sustainability Commission. The village is seeking applications from individuals interested in serving on the Sustainability Commission. Comprised of 7 members, the commission makes recommendations on sustainable practices that lead to a reduction of the village's carbon footprint while promoting water conservation and the improvement of air, climate, and water quality. Completed applications should be submitted to the village website. Completed applications should be submitted to the attention of Andrea Bagley at 447 North Catherine Avenue, LaGrange Park, 60526, or to her email address of abagley@lagrangepark.org. The third item is regarding our annual strategic planning session that was recently held. On February 3rd, the Village Board held their annual strategic planning session. This year's topic was Economic Development Initiatives and Tax Increment Financing, or TIF districts. The session featured a panel presentation from 3 local experts, including a municipal attorney, consulting firm, and the director of a local public-private partnership. The panel shared information on tax increment financing districts and business districts, including how their use may benefit the community by serving as an incentive and catalyst for reinvestment. The Village Board will continue to evaluate the opportunities for use of these and other economic development initiatives as part of their overall strategy to revitalize the commercial and industrial corridors in the community. And the last item to report on, Mr. President, this evening is Download Disconnection Program. The village was awarded a grant from the IEPA to fund a new downspout disconnection assistance program to help residents with costs associated with disconnecting their downspouts from the village's combined sewer system. As a result of the disconnection, water flowing into Salt Creek will be reduced and water quality will be improved. Once implemented, the village anticipates that the capacity of the combined storm sewer system will increase as much as 12% during storm events. Recently, the village updated its mandatory downspout disconnection ordinance such that single-family homes disconnections must be completed by January of 2017. The Downspout Disconnection Assistance Program provides incentives in the form of reimbursements to help owners meet the deadline. All reimbursements are first-come, first-served basis. The village is conducting a survey to collect the data required for the program and to gain a better understanding of how individual households may be impacted by the program. We do encourage all single-family homeowners to take a few minutes to complete the survey. To take the survey or learn more about the program, please visit the village website at www.lagrangepark.org and follow the link from the home page. And that concludes my report this evening from the administration area, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Building and Zoning, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. The following are building department activities for January 2015. 34 building permits were issued this past January compared to 31 issued in January of 2014. Estimated construction costs for the month were more than double than January of last year, while permit fees collected were more than 4 times as much. This is attributed to the additional number of permits issued, the increase in fees, and again somewhat related to deposits now being required. There were 82 inspections conducted in January compared to 94 last January. Of such, 4 were not approved. Permits were issued for 3 residential additions during the month. During the month, staff met with representatives of the Community Park District to discuss and review their plans for the new Memorial Park shelter and park improvements. During the month, staff met with representatives of Helping Hand to clarify life safety code requirements and the scope of renovations planned for, which are minor for the house they own on Community. And that ends my report for the month, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Next is Engineering and Capital Projects, Trustee Casera.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have 4 items to report on this evening. The 2014 sewer cleaning and televising program contractor, Visu Sewer of Illinois, is scheduled to resume work on February 2nd. They will remain in the village until all sections are completed. We'll review the video records of this work upon receipt of the information from the contractor. Second item. Project closeout of the Ogden Avenue water main replacement program with Suburban General Construction has been completed. The only remaining items are permits with Metropolitan Water Reclamation District and the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. All paperwork has been submitted and is currently pending with approval expected by the end of February. Third item. The Cummin Avenue resurfacing project from 31st Street to 26th Street will appear on the March 6, 2015, letting by the Illinois Department of Transportation. Construction of these improvements should commence in late spring of 2015, with completion expected by the end of summer. Final item. We have completed initial discussions with the Public Works staff to identify a list of suggested improvements for the village's 2015 paving program. Based upon this list, as a series of preliminary cost estimates have been produced. More detailed information is being obtained to further refine the scope of the work and identifying potential funding options. Once these steps are completed, we'll be seeking direction from the village on how to move forward with this program. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Casera. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Fatino.
Thank you, Mr. President. Following is the Police Department summary of activities for January 2015. The month of January, with its uncertain weather conditions, has in the past caused for police activities to be impacted. This month, there were 24 accidents reported during the month, compared to 31 during January of last year. Traffic citations issued totaled 427, compared to last January's 350. This represents an increase of nearly 22%. Total police activity decreased by 18%, with a total of 479 incidents reported, compared to 567 during the first month of 2014. The annual Adopt a Cop skating party is scheduled for Saturday, March 28th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. at the Darien Sportsplex Ice Arena. Free admission to all students who are participants in this program. Bring your own skates or rental is $2. The event is always well attended and is coordinated by Sergeant Felix Hernandez. The police department, in coordination with all local schools in LaGrange Park, have conducted emergency lockout drills during the past few months. In addition, the police officers conduct daily walkthroughs and closely monitor the drop-off, pickup at each school for the safety of all students. The police department social worker, Dick Bunsold, is assigned all follow-ups for such incidents involving domestic situations, juvenile matters, suicide attempts, committals, involuntary or voluntary, hoarding, homelessness, etc. He works closely with the local hospitals or court services for continued care for all involved. During the month of January 2015, he followed up on a variety of 21 such incidents. And moving on to the fire department activities for January 2015. There were 155 EMS responses this month. There were 143 during the month of January in 2014. There were 47 fire rescue incidents this month. There were 80 during the month of January in 2014. 6 new paid on-call employees began attending the part-time fire academy, which is being hosted by the Western Springs Fire Department this year. Most of their classroom instruction takes place during the week in the evening, with practical skill sessions taking place mostly on weekends. From Wednesday, January 7th at 7:30 a.m. until Thursday, January 8th at noon, we kept additional staff in our stations due to the extreme cold weather. This staffing allows for a quicker response to emergencies, as such weather can hamper our operations somewhat, especially using our mostly paid on-call staffing system. We responded to 13 separate incidents during this time, including on Wednesday morning, when our department responded to 5 EMS requests, 4 within 20 minutes of one another. CPR and AED training was provided to Public Works employees during the month. Also, our personnel spoke to students involved in the Health Careers Club at Nazareth Academy as part of their Career Day program. This concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Fatino. Next up, Public Works Committee, Trustee Messick.
Thank you, Mr. President. Monthly report for January of 2015. There was 170 regular hours and 245 overtime hours spent on winter operations, which required either salting, snow plowing, or both. There was a total of 1,579 miles salted with approximately 272 tons of salt and 2,030 miles plowed. 212 regular hours were spent on the maintenance of public works equipment and vehicles. 134 hours spent filling potholes with approximately 7 tons of UPM. 203 day shift hours were spent on building and ground maintenance around the Public Works facility and along 31st Street. 2 televisions, 2 memo boards to post agendas in the waiting area of the Village Hall, and a defibrillator box were installed at Village Hall. Work orders were completed with crews removing roadkill, making sign repairs, and picking up several piles of brush. There was mechanic maintenance on various public works, police, and fire vehicles, and then on to water department operations. Over 84 day shift hours and 49 overtime man hours during the month of January were spent on maintenance and repairs of sewer and water mains. 34,250,000 gallons of water were purchased from the Brookfield North Riverside Water Commission. 1,269 water meters were read in Section 1. 50 monthly accounts and 15 final meter readings were taken. Various inspections, appointments, and service calls were performed. 15 water, bacterial, and quarterly stage 2 samples were taken and all passed. 49 utility locations were identified prior to excavations. 2 water mains were repaired, and 3 Buffalo box repairs were made. That concludes my report, Mr. President. There are no action items.
Thank you, Trustee Messick. And Finance Committee, Trustee Rocco.
Thank you, Mr. President. We are completed 9/12 or 75% of the fiscal year 2015, which began in May of 2014, May 1st, and runs through April 30th, 2015. The highlights are the fiscal year-to-date general revenue funds are at 67% of the annual budget and essentially flat overall compared to the prior year. Sales tax revenue continues on a positive trend and is up about 9% from last year. Fiscal year-to-date natural gas tax receipts are also higher than the prior year. The telecommunication tax is over 17% lower than last year, including the reduction due to the nationwide data plan lawsuit settlement. If we exclude the temporary reduction, telecom tax receipts are lower by about 10%. Permit revenue is up over 16% from last year, reflecting continued strong building activity. Intergovernmental revenue remains slightly below the prior year due to lower income tax receipts. The IML has revised their fiscal year estimate to a slight decrease overall. Fine revenue is up about 12%, lower than the prior year, and yet still within the budget. All departments are within their expected fiscal year-to-date budgets. Police department expenditures are higher than last year due to a timing difference of the pension contribution. Total general fund expenditures are within budget expectations of 72% of the annual budget and about $1.46 million above last year. Most of the increase is due to the approximately $1.2 million budgeted transfer of cash reserves to the Capital Projects Fund. Excluding the capital transfer and pension timing differences, general fund expenditures are approximately $154,500, or about 3.2% above last year at this time. And that concludes my report, and there are no action items, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Rocco. Other reports, Village Clerk,
No report, Mr. President.
our Village Treasurer,
No report, Mr. President.
our Village Engineer. No report, Mr. President. Our Village Attorney.
No report, Mr. President.
Okay, motion to approve Committee Collectors' reports as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I have one item. Everybody has seen and heard Governor Rauner's budget address and his budget proposal. There's one item that really affects our community and all the communities around us, and that's his stance on the local government distributive fund. As you may have heard, Governor Rauner has proposed that the local government distributive fund revenue be reduced by 50%. This fund is shared state income tax money. Municipalities presently receive 8% of the total state income tax collections. The West Central Municipal Conference is strongly opposed to any diminishment of the local LGDF, and we encourage our members to make our position known to our legislators and the governor's staff. The LGDF share has been an important revenue stream for municipalities since the income tax was first instituted in Illinois in 1969. Local communities have counted on it for 45 years to help fund key public services like police, fire, water and sewer treatment, infrastructure repair, and construction and snow removal. A 50% sweep of these funds will reduce the revenues for these needed local services by nearly $50 per resident. To LaGrange Park, that's about $700,000. We will continue to fight and reach out to our legislators on this issue. We have a drive down coming up in April where your board and staff will go down to Springfield, and we will work with our representatives and make sure that our voice is heard as all the municipalities in the state of Illinois will be heard also. So this will impact us tremendously if it's passed. That's all that I have. Moving on to public participation of non-agenda related items, if anyone would care to address the board. Any new business? And a motion to move into executive session.
I move we enter executive session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining in accordance with 5 ILCS 120/2 C2.
Second.
The motion is second. Amanda, call the roll.
Trustee Messick?
Yes.
Trustee Rocco?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Casera?
Yes.
Trustee Fatino?
Yes.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
We'll move into executive session.